ridiculous. And I replied to him and I said, I don't feel free and protected when I'm forced to be in poverty because of my disability. And then when I try to get out of that on my own, I risk losing services that I desperately need for my everyday life because I make the decision and I say, I refuse to be in poverty anymore just because of my disability. What do you have to say about people who say you're free and protected, you get help from the government because you're disabled?
Well, yeah, I mean, help. And the idea of free and protected is to me kind of laughable in a country, even in the best of places where transportation is not accessible, where, like you've even said, you got to get the van, but you got to be able to do so within the confines of what you can save. I know someone who has a van but can't save the money to get the training that she would need to drive the van, because when she saves enough money to pay the trainer, she's going to have, she's going to hit that threshold, right? And it's that weird kind of in between. And so that idea of freedom, and as we know, is poverty freedom is not understanding where your food and if your food is going to be there as prices rise, is that freedom. But beyond that, the idea of protection is laughable to me, because I think that in this country, and I'm saying this as a public educator, in this country, we have talked about since 1954, separate but equal being something that we don't agree with, right? But separate but equal was codified in 1990 when the ADA was signed. It was codified for the disabled community. We may not believe in separate but equal for other things, but by God, we will have you go through a separate entrance. We will have you go through a separate process. We will have you have to prove that you've been discriminated against 3 times before you can get any kind of justice.